What's up, everyone? Tim Gillette here, Morningstar Jiu Jitsu. With me today, one of my instructors, Maher, and we're going to go over how to maintain back control, just the fundamentals of it, and when somebody starts to do their basic escape, how to kind of re-control the back, regain it, and if that fails, how we can transition to the mount. All right, so let's get started. So, starting with my partner's back, we're just going to do this part where I'm sitting up for right now. And I want to talk about the upper body control first. So we have upper body control and we have lower body control. Upper body, the best arm positioning is our over-under or our seatbelt grip. And the reason is this will control my partner moving up or moving down, right? So if we fall to our side here, if I had double unders right here, nothing is stopping him from sliding up. He can start to escape out the top right there. Same if I have double overs but no choke in, he can start to slide low and starts to escape out the bottom right there. So if I have over under, now he can't really go high and he can't really go low, right? The one over the shoulder is stopping him from going up, the one underneath the armpit stopping him from going down. So the over under is going to control him in two directions, up and down. The other thing the over under does is it allows me to hide my choking arm. So my choking arm is always the arm that's over the top of the shoulder. And when I have my seatbelt grip, my underhook is always going to grab kind of up my forearm a bit, and I want to hide my hand. And that is because if he puts in a defense now, he might grab the top arm, it's really common, and that top arm is not the choking arm. So I can sneak the choking arm out, and we can catch that choke in transition. So whenever we're here and we want to take our grip to control, I want to hide that choking arm so it's harder for him to get a defense in. He grabs whatever defense he can. Yeah, if he does grab the choking arm, it's up towards the elbow, and that's not really going to stop the choke from slipping in. So we always want to grab partway up our forearm and really hide that choking arm. So that's our upper body control. Now the lower body control is our legs controlling his hips. So there's the traditional hooks where we have our hooks right here. Make sure you never cross your feet. You get caught in that leg lock right there and you'll feel stupid. So you're going to keep your traditional hooks, or you can go to body locks or what we call the stomp style back control. Now the main thing here is my leg that's closest to the mat. If that leg gets too close to the mat, he's able to get his hips up over the top and he starts to escape right there. So our bottom leg here is really the key to controlling the bottom part of the body. So I want to keep that foot as far away from the mat as possible. So that's why you'll see people go to a body triangle, because now that foot's way up here, it's going to be tough for him to get his hips over the top. Or if you don't have that dexterity or that flexibility, people will go to a stomp style back control. So I'm going to be curling my leg across and just stepping right on top of my own foot right there to reinforce it. And again, it's bringing that foot up away from the mat, making it harder for him to get over the top to work that basic escape. Okay? So we have our control right here, upper body control, lower body control, and I'm in a pretty good position. Now, if I make a mistake and I leave this foot down here and he's able to start turning and getting his hips and his shoulders flat on the mat, now I've lost my back control, right? If his back is on the mat, obviously I'm not on his back. I'm off to the side. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure this far hip is controlled right here. So right now, my foot that's on the bottom is still controlling that hip. If this is what's happening, then I can stay on the back. The way I'm going to do it is I'm going to take my free leg here, my top one, and I'm going to hook it behind the knee right here. When I hook behind the knee, I'm going to kick to the side and toss him to the side, and that's going to turn his hips and re-expose the back so I can get back onto it. So I'm going to kick that to the side. His back is exposed, I close the gap. Now instead of putting my traditional hooks back in, I'm going to go to what we call a half back. And I'm going to cross my feet right here. And it's okay to cross my feet here. He can't leg lock me here because this leg is on the outside, right? If I cross with both feet to the inside, now I'm in trouble. But since this leg is to the outside, when I cross my feet, I'm safe. This really locks down that bottom leg. So if he tries to turn his hips and tries to turn up towards the ceiling now, it's very difficult. I'm really controlling that bottom hip, and this makes it really difficult for him to turn and put his back on the mat, and now I can start working my attacks here, all right? So if we start up again, we've got traditional hooks, seatbelt grip or over under. I'm hiding my choking arm. I'm keeping my chest attached to his back, my chin's in tight. We drop down to the side here. He starts to turn and get his back on the mat. My foot is still controlling the hip. That's important, all right? If that's the case, now I can bring this foot over, hook behind the knee, turn his hips, and now I'm just going to cross my feet and curl in. Now if he tries to turn back onto his back, very difficult there, and I'm really controlling that hip. This is called our half back. Very powerful leg position right there to control the back, and now I can work on my chokes with the upper body, okay? Now, let's say that he again does that same escape where he puts his back on the mat, but my foot doesn't control the hip. Now he can just start walking over and he will escape. We still want to control that hip, but since the bottom foot is no longer able to do that, we're going to use the top foot. So I'll show you how. So we're here, he starts to turn, my foot slips off, so now my top foot has to control that hip. Now if he tries to slip his hips away to escape, he can't move those hips still, all right? Now I can't really control the back here, but I can transition up to the mount. So I'm going to take my bottom leg and start to curl it back. Release with the upper body, turn my hips, and come up into my mount, and now I can start to attack from there. So I'm always staying in that dominant position. I'm never going to let him escape the back and then get on top, okay? And the key is always controlling that far hip. So back control, over under, hide that choking arm. We're on the side, he turns the hips. If my foot is controlling the hip, I hook behind the knee, turn his hips, lock my feet behind. Now I'm in the half back. Now if he tries to escape again, very, very difficult. I've got that leg really locked and holding his hip in place. If he turns and puts his back on the mat, and I don't control the hip with the bottom leg, then I have to control it with the top leg. And I'm curling in right there. So he tries to move around, very difficult for him to move right there. This leg curling in is also helping me pull my hips up over the top. I'm going to take my bottom leg and start to curl it back to get it out of there, out of the way. Swing my arm out. We can come up to the mount. Maybe I get lucky and catch an arm triangle right here. But either way, I stayed in the dominant position the whole time, and I never lost control of the match right there. So that's kind of our basic controlling the back, transition to the mount if you need to, or to regain or re-control the back if you start to lose it. So give that a try. We'll be teaching that here in class during our fundamentals class. So come on in, try us out. Thanks.